welcome to Kelly's Bar for the second year of our Yards After Contact program here down at Kelly's Bar with co-owner Ryan Kelly and family that have us down here at this location. If you haven't seen us before, this is year number 2. We'd like to invite some of the area coaches and players who've had a great weekend this past weekend and have an important impact on the season already in week 1. And we have quite a cast of characters here, if you will. Andy Hake from Western Reserve, head coach. He brought a couple of his players. Joe Ignazio's here from Boardman, a couple of his players, and we're expecting P.J. Fecco to be here as well with a couple of his players. I saw Mooney play Cleveland Heights, and I saw Andy's team, Western Reserve, play Columbiana to open up the season on a Thursday, which was kind of cool. And then Saturday I went to Camp McKinley, and I saw Canton and Warren Harding, and a great game. How about yourself? What did you do this weekend?
I was able to see Ursuline versus Benedictine Friday. Wasn't catching it. I was hoping to go to the McKinley game on Saturday.
I'll bet you were at the concert on Thursday, were you?
I was at the concert on Thursday. I was down here, then to the concert.
You got a little shuttle going from here?
I had a little shuttle going down the street. So.
Kelly's Bar, tell us a little about what you got here going before we get started here.
Yeah, I mean, we're going into getting close to our 3-year anniversary. It'll come up this fall, so we're real excited. It's just been, it's crazy here, football season's finally here, man. It came so fast. So really, the big thing now is Thursday, the Buckeyes, I hate to say it, but the Buckeyes do kick off on Thursday, which is going to be, hopefully, great for us,
Yeah.
It just kicks the weekend off right,
Sure.
Get everyone going on Saturday. So, but unfortunately, I hate it to be this way because I love it with my heart. I hate the fact that the Golden Dawn had to close, for
Unbelievable.
us to be, but I miss the Golden Dawn. It's the greatest place ever. But we're picking up because, the Ursuline
Sure.
crowd got
There
to
you
go
go.
somewhere. I'm an Ursuline alumni, so
Sure.
we were pretty good on Friday. So anything we got going, tonight we got smoked wings. We got the smoker going. Same thing we'll have Thursday for the Buckeyes, and all the way through the whole weekend. So we'll be open the whole weekend and see what goes on.
Well, we got a special guest. Ron Patessa is going to be a part of our program each week. So he's a 1390, the sports animal, WNIO. So we'll get his opinions, good or bad, on the upcoming weekend games.
I think, so.
And what he thought about last weekend.
Yeah.
He's on the radio as well with 1390.
Yeah.
So what did you think of Ursuline? Let's start there.
I thought they're still a young team. They're getting there.
Fabry's a quarterback.
Fabry's a quarterback. He looked really good. I think that, they just got to fill it in. Opening with Benedictine's a tough opening game. Whatever you.
For those who didn't see it, did they have a chance? Were they in it?
Yeah, they were in it right till the end. I think they kind of muffed a punt at the end, but that wasn't what changed the game. There's little things here and there. I think they ended up losing by 12 maybe, but it wasn't so much because of that. There's just little things. They got to get everything right. Coach Kemp was down here talking to me, and I think he's a guy's gonna be on our show.
We'll have him on, sure.
Yeah, and he's a straight shooter, and
Yeah.
he's those little things. We got to tackle better, we got to run better, and he's their defensive coordinator. So for him to be critical of their defense, there's some things that's got to change. So
they got Joe Floyd.
yeah, they got.
Did Trey Donlow play? Is he back?
Trey did play. He played pretty well. He hasn't played in 2 years. You look at him. He
looks
he's a
like
Division
Sean
I
Penny.
athlete. Yeah, they got a couple young guys. Davon Jones, a young kid. He's going to be a stud. They got
Receiver they got?
James Phillips,
Yeah.
the receiver. He's a kid, doesn't have to grow an inch. He's a sophomore, and he'll be a Division I recruit. So
Cavalier, does he get in, or did he play
he
wide
played,
receiver?
He played safety.
Safety?
He played pretty well. So they just, they got to get it together. That's a tough game to open up with, to just come out of the gate, especially when they beat them in a heartbreaking game for them last year. So they come to Youngstown ready to put it on them and revenge it a little bit.
It would have been nice to get those points early in the year from Benedictine,
They're going to win some.
Yeah, they're going to win
games,
some games,
man.
and Ursuline needs some big point victories this year
Absolutely.
because they're not going to get many of them.
Absolutely.
So everyone's got to count.
So let me ask you on the flip side,
Sure.
what did you think about starting with Western Reserve and going in all the way through?
First time I was at Western Reserve, Coach Andy Hake was very accommodating.
Yeah.
Very. The whole atmosphere was very nice there. Not that I've been to a Division VI game, other than the state playoffs probably in the past. Jack Capabianca, who his cousin.
I coached his
from
cousin,
Ursuline.
Yeah, Giacomo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to see him play, obviously, among other things. And he's a preferred walk-on at The Ohio State University in the future. So we'll get to look at him. He's here tonight. We'll have a chat with him. He had started the game off with a 69-yard touchdown run, first play. 2 plays in, it's 14-0 on 2 offensive plays in after they hold him again. So it's 14-0, and they're cruising basically after that. So it was a good way to kick off the season. The next night I went up to Cleveland. I went up to Cleveland Heights, saw Cardinal Mooney battle. They had a tough one on their hands. They ran the ball quite effectively with Antonio Page, over 200 yards rushing. He was a beast. They got a tackle, Kyle Jornigan, who's a potential D1 kid. He's a junior, a left tackle, 6'5", 320, good size, long arms, very impressive. He's impressive in the Glenville scrimmage too. He's a transfer from Lakeview. I like him a lot. He's hopefully he'll be here tonight with us as well when Mooney gets here. And then they outlasted them and they kind of beat them up late in the game. Where their holes were, I could have ran through some of them late in the game when they scored the last touchdown or two. So they won, pretty much convincingly. Heights threw the ball a little bit on them. They could have threw it more, Nico Marchionne is out for 4 or 5 weeks. He's a cornerback, and they exploited that, throwing deep for a touchdown. They could have done it more often, I thought. Saturday was McKinley. What a beautiful stadium. Have you been there? You've been there. You know Dan
we saw,
very well.
McKinley scrimmage Ignatius, and I was blown away.
Just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Even when you just pulling up to the stadium, it looks
right.
majestic.
I mean, literally, their transformers for their power lines are goalposts. I don't know if you even caught that.
No,
I mean, it's
I
the
did
little
not.
things there we were blown away. We went
Wow.
there.
And there's not a bench in the stadium. It's all chairback
all
seats.
Chairback seats. Yep.
Beautiful. The facilities underneath are beautiful.
Uh-huh.
I didn't make it up to the press box. Didn't have to, so I didn't bother. But the locker rooms, there's one on each end, okay? But they're split in two, and they're equal.
Yep.
They're a mirror image of each other. They have a coach's room in each side, so when you split it in two, it's like the same thing.
Yeah.
And they're still big.
Uh-huh.
The whole thing is big as it is, but then even when you split them, you got two on this side, so they are set up for the state playoffs. You have 2 big locker rooms, which would be better than anything that's been at Fawcett Stadium in the past.
They're set up for the state championship.
State
where
championships.
They should be.
Yeah, where they should be. I agree.
Back home where
Hopefully
they should
they'll
be.
get a taste of it here and they'll stay here.
Yeah.
But you never know if
Yeah.
OHSA wants it in Columbus in 2 years, they'll get it back if they want. But at least they're going to flip it, as far as I know. And every game will be at Canton and not Canton Massillon, which is another bonus, especially for the media who go back and forth.
100%.
So this is nice. It's just a great environment.
Yeah.
Dan Reardon, Steve Arnold, 2 local guys. Really, when you look at it, historic game, sort of first game ever. Kind of big deal for high school. For a high school stadium, for Harding to be the guest of, I guess they could have probably had anybody there they wanted, if they scheduled it ahead of time and they had Harding. So nice game. I mean, McKinley overpowered them pretty much, but for the most part, young quarterbacks. Harding's got some talent, but I think they're going to, without Lynn Bowden and company, they're going to struggle a little bit this year. But
I'm sure. Closest thing when I coached was replacing an Keith Teague, but you might be able to find 2 guys to replace him. You probably got to find 5 guys to replace a Lynn Bowden somehow. Yeah. And spread it around, but that's a tough task.
Real quick, you got your YSU shirt on there. What are you expecting out of Penguins on Saturday at Pitt?
We're going to head down. We're excited. We're obviously big Penguin supporters here. We take care of them guys. We feed their coaches every Sunday. So they're amped up. Their coaching staff's amped up, and we're excited. You got to catch practice a little bit last week, so I think the confidence-wise, it's got to be through the roof now. It's no longer like, hey, what if we get to the playoffs? Now it's like we get back to Frisco somehow. So.
And then on the Ohio State front, why not? I'm all in. I think they got a chance to run the table. At least they'll be favored probably every game of the year, including Oklahoma in week 2. But they got to take care of business at Indiana, which they struggle with sometimes.
Yeah.
But they have Kevin Wilson on our side now, and I think we're just a much more talented team than they are.
I listen to 1390 every day in my commute, so I listen to Ron and from 12 o'clock on, I got to catch your pregame show. And as much as I'm a Notre Dame guy, I'm not an Ohio
You listened
State
to Urban
guy.
Day, didn't you?
I did listen to the whole show, and it's something about it. This is all I'll give you. Something about Paul Keel's voice, and when it comes to it gets me ready for football season.
That's good.
It gets you into it, but I completely disregarded the fact. Even though I knew that Kevin Wilson is their former head coach and now he's the OC, but I listened to the whole thing today. He's an energy guy, man.
And he knows that team inside and out.
Yeah, he
so
jumped on it.
I think it's a benefit having him on, Kevin Wilson.
Yeah, it's definitely.
In many ways.
Whatever he had, his issues he had as a head coach. Now he's not the guy in charge. He's a play caller. If you didn't see the transformation that Indiana made, then you don't know anything about football. And you got to see him how many times play. It was crazy. So.
Since last year, you got married.
Yeah.
I've had a bout with cancer that I'm winning so far. Things are going well. excited about that, excited about the future. At times I wasn't sure what my future was going to be, but it's looking better and better from my last scan that I had. And you're opening up a store in Columbiana now as well.
Yeah, we're opening another Belleria in Columbiana. We're excited about it, probably about second week. I got to meet Coach Kusick out at
Crestview.
And Coach Johnson in Salem. We did some food for them.
There you go.
And I got to meet Coach Spade at Columbiana. There's a great group of guys. And I think Ron talks about it all the time. And maybe I'm so used to Youngstown football, you disregard Columbiana's they're good communities, they're strong football communities, and we're excited to be part of that. I've always thought that the lifeblood of a town and a community is high school football. And maybe
especially those small towns.
Maybe I'm biased. I'm a high school coach, but that's everything runs through high school football. So I'm excited. I'm excited that we're here right now. I think when we had your benefit in May,
wonderful.
It was great.
3 months already. It's crazy.
It was unbelievable here, but Gary and I hugged each other and said we'll be back for doing this show, and hey, we're here. So I mean,
we're here courtesy of Bob Villa with MVP Entertainment.
Absolutely, Bob's and everyone's
your bar.
It's a beautiful thing.
And how's married life, real quick though?
So far, so good.
Yeah.
So far, so good. If I complain, she'd kill me, but I can't complain. So
there we go.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna have more. We're gonna be back with a couple of coaches, a couple of players, and even more at Kelly's Bar, Mahoney Avenue in Youngstown, with Yards After Contact. And welcome back to Kelly's Bar, Mahoney Avenue in Youngstown. This is Yards After Contact. First show this 2017 season, and our first official guest of the 2017 season is Andy Haight, the coach of the Western Reserve. And Andy just come off a big win to open up the season against Columbiana. I guess there's some revenge in there from past couple of years, but how did you feel? Week one, got the big victory. How's it going in Western Reserve right now?
Well, we were very fortunate to come away with the win the last 2 years. They had a tremendous quarterback, Mitch Davidson.
Yeah.
He graduated, and they had a younger quarterback, a little younger team, and we were able to get on top of them early and take care of them. But they're going to win games this year. They have a great coach. They got one of the better coaches in the area and one of the better programs. So we were really thrilled to get that win, and we've got to build on it. We've got to build on it in the future, like this for the rest of the year.
And you run into Buzzsaw week 2 already, huh?
You know what? The last few years, the teams we've been playing, Columbiana, South Range, Steubenville Central, Cuyahoga Heights, Harrison Central.
Same schedule pretty much?
It's just been tough teams, and you know what? Our kids have been challenged, and you know what? We're going to have to meet the challenge this week because this is one of the better South Range teams that they've had. We have a lot of respect for them. We do. They're a great program. They have a great staff. They got some of the more exciting players in the area on their team. So we got to be up for the challenge.
What's the success going on over there at Western Reserve High School and Berlin Center?
Yeah, we've been very fortunate. This is going on in my 9th year there, and I feel very fortunate to be the coach there, to be a part of such a great community and a great program.
Did you know much about Western Reserve before you started there?
I'm from Middle Ridge, so we used to play Berlin Center, Western Reserve, in the old Inter-County League, the old ICL.
Yes.
And that was with Springfield, McDonald, South Range, Matthews, Lowville, Jackson, Milton, Western Reserve.
Good football.
It was fun, yeah, it was great. And, I went on, I graduated Middle Ridge High School, and then I coached a few years out of high school. And after a few years, I finished in my college.
At YSU?
Yeah, YSU, and got my degree in social studies, and then we scrimmaged Rain a few times, and I got a teaching job offered to me there by Brian Shaner.
Head coach at Niles.
Head coach at Niles now. He's a good man, he's a good coach, and he offered me a job, and went there and coached at Ray in high school and taught there, and then when it closed, we went over to East, and we had a great time. There was great memories, and I really enjoyed the city. And but the job opened up at Western Reserve. I just saw it come up. I was teaching at TCTC because they were cutting back on the jobs in the city, so I went and taught there for a few years. And I came across the screen about a job being open at Western Reserve, and they played McDonald, and I'm from Middle Ridge, so I thought, hey, this is they play McDonald, I'd like to play them again, that'd be fun. So I applied for the job, got it, 9 years later, it's been very fortunate. You know, the last 9 years we've had this unparalleled success because of these kids. And we're going to bring a couple up here in a little bit, but we have some tremendous. We've had great kids and great families that believe in values and education, and it's real. It's real because you know, my staff, I have a great staff, the same guys the last 9 years. This is year 9. We've been together, so starting year 9.
I know Big Brett Powell's on your staff.
He's wonderful. Brett's a line coach. He was a 25.
Great wrestling coach in the area.
25 years at Fitch.
Yeah.
He's head coach. Jason Cochran's my defensive coordinator. Ed Anthony's my offensive coordinator. Joe Stevens is a line coach for me. He was the head coach at Mineral Ridge before. Damon Bente. I have great coaches and I have great guys, and they really coach these kids up. We've been so fortunate because of the families that support the program, and we're lucky. We're very lucky, very fortunate.
How much of the success is because of you over there?
Oh, I think that it's a combination of things. So someone is, I mean, I know that it looks as if, hey, you know, I think that we won our 80th game, starting on, we won our 80th game, our staff. And that's,
In 9 years or 8 years?
And at the beginning of 9 years, we were at our 80th game, and I say that because I'm really proud of our staff. I have a great staff, and I put them up against anybody, my staff. We have 104 boys in the school. We have 104 boys and 60 play football. So the staff does a great job getting the kids to come out and play. And then, you know, they play hard for their families in the school, and it's a great thing. It really is.
Well, the big highlight of your team, fair or not fair, is Jack Capobianca getting a scholarship, not a scholarship, but a preferred walk-on at The Ohio State University. Tell us about him and how good can he be, and can he play at Ohio State someday?
You know what, Jack's a special guy, and he has logistics in the frame.
Looks
And
6'2".
Yeah, 220, and he can run, and he's a competitive guy. So, you know, we love Jack. Jack's played since his freshman year. I remember in the playoff games against Norwalk, St. Paul in the regional finals his freshman year, he's running the ball. You know, in tournament games, he's running the ball. In big games, his freshman year. And now he's a senior, and he's really developed, and he's become one of our leaders, as well as Dominic and Velasquez, our quarterback, and other guys. And we're very proud of him. And he represents our program in a good way, man. He's good to young kids. That's one big thing I like to say about Jack.
Let me ask you, just curiosity, first play 69 yards, only 8 other carries in the game. Was that just the flow of the game? What happened?
Well, you know what?
You didn't need them.
It's early, and I played.
It was 14-0 before you knew it.
You know what? If you can get the upper hand on somebody early, you know, you want to make sure they're put away. And Columbiana's a dangerous team. You got to make sure they're put away. But Jack.
Well, he had more than 9 this weekend. 9 carries.
He saved some carries for South Range. Hey, I'm telling you something. They're one of the better South Range teams we've ever seen. And they have a quarterback, they have a running back, they have receivers, they have a great line. They have a great their defense swarms to the ball, fast guys in the secondary, and they kick the ball. Their kicker's one of the most dangerous players on their team. So they have a complete team, and we're going to have to play 4 quarters. And I know that sounds, hey, you have to play 4 quarters, don't turn the ball over, and don't. That's what you have to do to win. Shorten the game, don't give them a lot of possessions. The more possessions they get, they got special guys. So we're going to have to play, a very physical game and pick and choose when we go after them.
You've been blessed with good quarterbacks there. Velasquez seems to be in that same mold.
Unbelievable.
Well, the touchdown out, 40 yards, was it? I don't know. The second play, the offensive play of the game.
Yeah.
Just nice pitch and catch there for get you guys up 14-0 before you knew it.
Dominic's on the line of being one of the great quarterbacks at our place. You know, in the 9 years I've been there, he's my 5th guy starting. Shane Ewing was the first guy. He was an unbelievable guy. He was an All-State player first year. He was All-State. Second year, Jeff Clegg was the Offensive Player of the Year, Division 6. You know what I mean? And then we had Nick Allison follow him, who was the Offensive Player of the Year in Division 7. And then John Clegg, Jeff's brother, was All-State. Wyatt Larimer last year the last few years, it was probably one of the school's best athletes ever. And then this guy, I feel, is in the same kind of conversation when it comes to ability and doing what you ask him to do. and being a good teammate. So you know what? I think highly of Dom, and very intelligent 4.0 kid, 6'3", big arm, and he's good to everybody. So you know what?
You mentioned Harvard, or
Harvard. You know what?
his sister went to.
His sister is a graduate of Yale. I think she's in Harvard Law School. They're very smart people. They're very, very smart people. And, you know, he has a lot of looks from those schools, from those Ivy League schools, a lot of interest. And, you know, the world's open to him. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you: are we going to go more with Capabianca or Velasquez on Saturday or Friday?
I think you have to mix it up. You do. You have to mix it up against a good team. I think high school football, if you can run and stop the run, you're in good shape. But both teams have good quarterbacks. And when you have, you know, both guys can have guys that throw the ball down the field, and both teams have guys that go get the ball. It's a dangerous thing. So we both have weapons, and we both have good players. And I really feel it's going to come down to the old cliches of turnovers, field position, you know, penalties, little things.
Let me ask you this: can Western Reserve go far? I mean, we're kind of used to you now being a playoff team. A couple of weekends in, how far can you go?
We went to the playoffs 7 of the last 8 years. Last year we didn't. Last year's team was like the other ones. This team is like the other ones. I don't know how good, I don't know where we're going to end up, but this team is like the other teams we've had. They play hard, they play for the school, they play for us coaches, they play for their families, they play for each other. They buy into what we're talking about, you know what I mean? And it's like a refreshing place. Like you can talk about things and be hard on kids, and people don't take things as personal as maybe they do in some other places. And I'm not saying it's better or worse, but I think there's something to be said about our politically correct society that we're in. And sometimes you can be real with people and still get your, you know what I mean, and get things done. And you don't. It's America first. You know what I mean? It's you have to put the goal and the mission above sometimes individual feelings or individual goals, and you have to surrender those for the team. You know what I mean? It's team first. It's country first, school first, right? And that's what it is. It is what it is. So we believe in those things. Some people think that could be corny, and that's fine.
But you have fun on the field.
We have as good as time.
I watch you animated.
Well,
just
yeah,
fun.
We're into what we're doing. The kids are into it. The community's into it. We're very passionate about it, and I think most schools that are have success are reflecting these kind of traits or characteristics. Dan Yeagley and Bob Spate and Phil Anarella and these guys that have been around a long time have a lot of success. Pavlansky, they're very intense people. They might not wear it on their sleeve, you know what I mean? But they're very intense people, and they want to win. And
so do you, right?
oh, as bad as anybody. You know what I mean? As bad as anybody. But I respect everybody we play. And
So how do you feel about the Friday?
I feel that Western Reserve has a real opportunity in front of them, and I think that South Range has a real opportunity in front of them.
Could this make or break your season, or is this just a?
It could propel you. It could propel you onto a lot of success.
Could it break you as well?
No, I don't look at it like that.
Okay.
I don't
So
think
it's
that
not.
my kids are weak-minded like
It's
that.
not. You have to win this game.
You got to win them all, right? But at the same time, you got to learn. And we have 104 boys in school, and we're forced to play up a lot of times. So when you're forced to play up in non-league, you know, we play Columbiana, South Range, and Steubenville Central Catholic. We play tough teams, and then we play our league. And within our league, you got to play McDonald, Springfield, Middle Ridge is 1-0. They're going to have a better team this year. Oval's 1-0. So we're going to have to play ball. And I know that in the past it's been a little bit easier to pick up because of non-league games. And the non-league games have become very tough lately to find and to win because they're tough teams that are going to play. You know, when you're winning, tough teams are going to play you, and teams that want to challenge themselves. Like we want to challenge ourselves, but we got to play people that make sense, and we're going to continue to do that. And we're going to try to make Western Reserve great again. Keep going, being great. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming down. I appreciate
Awesome. You do a
it. I
great
look
job,
forward to getting to know you last at the game on the other night, and hospitality. Everything was great over there in Western Reserve.
It's a good place.
I hope to be back again.
Oh, come whenever you want. We appreciate you.
Sure, thank
You
you.
do a great job.
Thank you. That's Andy Hake, Western Reserve head coach, and we'll be back with more Yards After Contact from Kelly's Bar, Mahoning Avenue in Youngstown, Ohio. And welcome back to Kelly's Bar in Youngstown, Ohio on Mahoning Avenue. And we're here with our premier edition this season, 2007, of Yards After Contact. And we have two guests from Western Reserve High School, Jack Capabianca, senior, Dominic Velasquez, senior, quarterback. Well, guys, congratulations, 1-0 on the season. Jack, 69 yards, first play of the ball game. What was your obviously, I don't know if you expected to hit the end zone, but what were your thoughts on opening up the game like that?
Opening up the game like that brought the intensity, we were up, we were motivated, we carried that onto defense, and we just played our hearts out.
Now, you got a Ohio State hat on. People probably know by now that you're a preferred walk-on, and we'll talk about that, but do you feel any pressure now playing because you're a future Buckeye?
I feel like I gotta play a lot harder. I don't want to I don't want to embarrass the Ohio State Buckeyes or let them down. I want to show everyone that I deserve to be on the team and that I have a shot of making it there.
Now, you played both ways. Do you prefer either way, first of all, linebacker or running back?
They're both fun to play. I just love playing the game of football, so it doesn't matter to me.
Do you have an indication of Ohio State, or is it linebacker or running back, or you still pretty sure at linebacker? What do you think about when you think about being a Buckeye? I want to call you a recruit. Why not? You're a Buckeye recruit in a way. You're a preferred walk-on. How does it feel?
It feels great. They're my favorite team ever. I have all my banners up in my room of Ohio State Buckeyes. I never thought I had this chance, but I worked hard every day, and I proved to myself that I deserved it. And now I'm excited to bring that intensity to the Ohio State football program.
What was the initial contact? How did it happen?
My coach got an email from Aaron Hodges, and he said he wanted to talk to him about me being a preferred walk-on. Then Monday we called him, and they offered me the preferred walk-on, and I accepted.
Right there on the spot.
Yep.
Did you know this was coming at all? Did you have any indication?
No, not at all.
Were you at any camps down there or anything?
No, nothing.
Somebody saw you and liked what they saw. So you told your parents after you committed?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
They're very happy.
Buckeye fans?
Oh yeah, huge Buckeye
Yeah?
fans. They're ecstatic. My grandma, my mom, they were crying. It was very emotional for them.
Wonderful. Dom, your situation, you're the next quarterback at Western Reserve. Any pressure in that aspect for you? Follow up on a great athlete at quarterback, which has probably sat behind for a few years, yes?
Yeah, a little bit, but I just want to carry on the great tradition that we have at Western Reserve, and I just want to, keep the winning tradition alive at Western Reserve.
Did you expect to have a nice start like you did? I don't know, coming out with the long touchdown passes, second play of the game, had to get you going pretty positively.
Yeah, it definitely showed because we scored the next drive too, and we just kept that momentum going the entire game.
Was it a lot of fun out there?
Oh, just a great time.
First year as a starter, right?
Right, correct.
So did you feel any nerves or pressure, or what was your thinking going into the game?
I rotated in a little bit last year.
So you had some experience.
Some experience, but this year's my first year, and I was a little bit nervous, but now I got the butterflies out of the way, and I think we're ready to go.
Anything going on with you recruiting-wise at all? 6'3", yes? Height?
Yeah, 6'3", yep. 175.
Okay.
But no, not too many schools looking at me, if any.
Maybe some Ivy League possibilities for you in the future, maybe?
Maybe. We're still in a little bit of a contact there, but, it's still.
Do you want to play?
If I could, if I got the right offer, I would definitely consider playing.
But
yeah.
school's going to be
Yeah, that's a
a
priority. My
priority for you,
education.
yeah?
Yep,
And your coach was telling us your sister is a Yale graduate and a Harvard lawyer graduate.
that's correct.
So
Yep, yep.
there's some pressure there to follow up as well.
A little bit.
Big shoes to fill in the
Yeah,
family.
Definitely, for sure.
So you guys excited about South Range?
Oh yes, sir. They're a hard team, and
Did you see the game live?
yes,
Did you go
we
there?
Watched it, no, not live. We
Oh, you watched it on
watched
TV. Okay.
Yeah.
And your thoughts?
They got some skilled players. They got that running back, Peyton Remish. He's a hard hitter, very hard. You have to go for full contact with him.
Yeah.
He'll play both ways like a maniac.
Does he motivate you to play better even when going up and get a kid like that? You know,
Yeah, for sure.
two-way
You
kid who's a
know-
tough kid.
Oh yes, you know that it's gonna be a good game between us.
Yeah?
The intensity's gonna be there all night long.
How do you feel your chances from what you've seen so far? When you're watching, what do you think? Do you see yourself doing some good things?
Oh yes, yes sir. I feel like